Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Red Bull Debrecen. So we are at the end of season for review. In the end, it was a comfortable win in the league and we did in fact get knocked out of the Maggie Cooper Cup. So that meant I just jumped to the end of the season. The 28 season with the club, we will be looking at kind of how we've performed. So you can see we did end up winning the league quite comfortably, 12 points clear in the end. Obviously, we went on a fantastic run here, but there was a little blip with Ferravar and Frank Ferrossi, which obviously caused a bit of concern. We did then change up the formation, change things around a little bit, and then that's when our fantastic run ended up coming together. A bit of a draw against Dinajovos, which is a bit of a shock, but all good in the end. Champions League, obviously, unfortunately, we did get knocked out in the group stages, but I can't complain too much. And then the Maggie Cooper Cup, again, we got knocked out by Fasas, which I'm very, very annoyed about. We're going to have to up our game next season on that front. I think it's because I rotated the squad too much, maybe, not focusing on it, which, to be fair, I probably don't need to do. I could probably focus on that more than the league because we can recoup points in the league where it's their one-off games. So maybe I might change my kind of thought process around that. We did get a 7-2 win against Sekled in the Maggie Cooper Cup as our biggest win. Match to remember was the 2-0 win against CSKA Moscow for the Champions League to get into the groups. And then goal of the season goes to Maxic in the 4-0 win against Gjor at the end of the season, or was that the beginning of the season actually? So I mean, it was a good goal, I believe. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was quite good. We can see here our reputation hasn't changed. Sponsorship has gone up, it's shot up loads by the looks of things. So that's quite nice. Merchandise sales is up to 1.9 million. You can see that we've got Lee Young Kwang with the most sales, South Korean player who is actually looking to leave the club, but I'm hoping we can kind of keep hold of him. We've got Eric, Amado, Bautista and Brenner as well getting a couple of shirt sales, which isn't bad at all. This is obviously the formation we mainly used last season, but this has changed to a 4-2-3-1 now. We are back to the original formation we used when first signing with the club, getting the most out of Brenner now a bit more, and it gives kind of a bit more attacking threat on the fullbacks, so they don't have to be as reliant, and the midfield has slightly changed in how they play as well. But this is a team that is suggested to be the lined-up squad of the year. Mezir in goal, Eminem at right back, Thomas at left back, Erak and Democus at centre-half, Chacon and Amado in midfield, with Bautista, Lilina, Cristiano and Vachau in the attacking roles, which is, I'd probably agree with most of that. Conrad De La Fuente getting most goals by a player in a league match, which was 4. And then most appearances is Sandri. As expected, he'll continue to kind of let that grow. Top goal scorer for the season was, in fact, Roberto Bautista, the winger, who cut in. We did get manager of the year, which is interesting. Goalkeeper of the year in the Hungarian division was Meslier, and Asian Young Footballer of the year was actually Yang Kwang. So, again, hoping that he sticks around. But there you go. We did end up winning the league. Everything else was kind of a no-show. Bit disappointing. Nothing spectacular. Now, we did have some transfer news for you. So during the January period, we did bring in a couple of players and a couple of players did leave. And most of them were academy players. Ko Jorge did end up going. He had signed a end of contract with the Dalian Pro. So we just decided to let him go. No point keeping him around. We've got other strikers that can play there. He went for 2.5 million as kind of like the deal of just getting rid of him. So we've made a little bit of money on him, and he's obviously been a quite good player for us, so can't complain too much. There's obviously a bunch of players gone out on loan as well as sold permanently, which are kind of youth players. The only other one really that is anything to really think about is Peter Gasbrick, who unfortunately has left the club to join Hartberg. It's just a case that he wasn't getting the game time he wanted. I didn't want to stop him from playing because I liked him as a player. He was very solid with work rate wise, and his passing game was very good. So we did let him go for 5 million back to Austria, where he originally came from Salzburg. So, I mean, we made a profit, which is good, and that's kind of it. I'm overall happy with it. In regards to who we brought in, though, we did bring in a couple of players. We brought in Esteban Alacron. He was coming in for a little while, and he looked very, very good. He is currently on loan to Ferencvárosi, but he will obviously be coming back at the end of the season. Woody Orban, I believe, is retiring, so he'll likely come in and just sit in that hole, or another player that we will be signing as well. So we've got a couple of options next season, certainly. So we'll be having a good pre-season to take a look at them all. Delmiro Neves is the next one. Brought in from Porto. He was brought in for £700,000. Only played one game for them, but very good for the Porto B team. I just thought he was 16 at the time, now 17. I mean, physical stats look very good. His mental stats look very good for that age, and his technicals are only going to improve. So as a fullback as well, a position at left back that I think we could always do with, especially with Luke Thomas possibly leaving and Brasati often playing centre half now, or at least for the last season. I thought it was quite good to have him in. I tried to load him out, give him constant game time. Didn't quite work out, so he got a few games for us, especially at the end of the season when we'd already won the league. And then Christopher Zevallos, a player that I'd kept my eye on for a little while, to be honest, a Peruvian. 3 goals in 6 appearances for Peru. A player that I kept my eye on. Reason because I wasn't sure if we were going to stick to the 4-2-4 formation with the attacking midfielders, or if we were going to end up playing a striker again. We have reverted back to the striker role, so I thought bringing him in as kind of the backup, especially as Caio Jorge has left the club, then I thought it was quite a good decision. Only 19 years of age, got room for improvement, and we bought him in on a free. So, I mean, it's only a win, really. You're not losing anything by bringing him in, I don't think. We've got obviously quite a nice big squad to really look at next season, with a couple of players who came up from the youth setup back there. And then obviously in our reserves, the loan players that are currently out, we can absolutely look at. Sell maybe a couple and also bring a few into the first team to give them some game time. Because the other player that really could be fighting for that centre-half spot is Gilberto, who looks pretty good as well. So a couple of players really fighting for that. And another player that will be likely fighting for that spot is Vinicius. Vinicius. Again, looks very, very nice. From Palmeiras, we are looking to bring him in at the end of the season. For a good, I think it's £12 million. But look at those stats. Physically, very pacey, good agility, good balance for a 6'2". He's strong, 22 years of age, so got plenty of years in him, and great tackling, marking, heading, all stuff you want. Passing isn't bad either, and first touch isn't awful, and hopefully that can even improve as well. Coming in for 12.25 million. But we are also looking to bring in Songa Puskas, a goalkeeper from Cluj. Again, Mezia did get goalkeeper of the season, but I couldn't really pass up the chance to sign him. He's obviously performed very well for Cluj over the time that he's been there. He's made 3 caps already for Romania. I couldn't pass it up. 6 million, I think, is a steal for him at this stage, and a player that we could certainly, if we don't keep, sell on for a hell of a lot more. Duncan Breyer, the next one, is a central defender from Chelsea, who we are bringing in on a free. Looks pretty decent. Looks like he could develop. Again, this is probably more for kind of profit for later on. João Hortense is a similar aspect. If he comes good, great. Some great dribbling and pace and agility. So he's a tricky winger, that's for sure. But hasn't made any appearances for Arsenal. We did fight off a few clubs for his signature, but another player that we can absolutely sell on for profit if we want to. Laszlo Persia will be leaving to join Puskas Academy at the end of the season, which was one of the latest signings for out of the club. And then Nildo is the next one. Again, another striker that I thought having one more striker isn't going to hurt. He can play anywhere behind the striker as well. And with the kind of pace he's got, the technique, the finishing, dribbling that's there at 21 years of age, he'll still improve a little bit and also hopefully get us a few goals. And he should hopefully fit in quite nicely, being Brazilian. So that's kind of the team that will be coming in at the end of the season. When it comes to that, once again, we'll come in around the point of the second game of the Champions Path. Hopefully, again, getting through that quite comfortably. And I think I'm going to look to take a different approach to next season. We are obviously playing the 4-2-3-1 now, a bit more attacking wing backs as well. So that's kind of how we'll play. Willow Orban, like I say, will be leaving the club after retirement. We might try and offer him a contract to kind of stay on as a coach, because, you know, you always love a good coach that's been playing at the club. I was hoping that Kalmar might stick around for a little longer, but I think he might be leaving at the end of the season as well, which is a shame, because he's still got decent technicals and mentals. It's just his physicals let him down a bit now, and certainly don't think can quite hit it with the big boys like he used to. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it at this stage. Nothing much to really update you on otherwise. With regards to that, though, I do have a proposition, but I think what I'll do is I'll mention that at the end of next season. So we'll be in 2030, and then I got a little thing to say about the save to see how things are going and kind of goals on that front. So keep an eye out for that one at the end of this season with Red Bull Debrecen. But I hope you did enjoy. Like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I will catch you next time.